What's up, everyone? This is Nate, and I'm back with another Out of the Theater review. Now, first of the weekend, I will be doing two, but the first movie that I went to see today, Thursday night, I went to see the new Dev Patel movie, Monkey Man. Now, this was directed by Dev Patel, starring Dev Patel. Now, Jordan Peele was a producer on it, so I'm going to give you my 2 cents, but before I do, if you would please consider subscribing to the channel. That way, every time our new videos drop, you can watch them. Do movie reviews every single week. Alex does movie reviews as well, if that's your sort of thing. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Give me a thumbs up down below if this is a movie that you're interested in, and let me know in the comments. Did you see it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? I want to know. All right. I will say, I like Dev Patel as an actor. The movies I like, I mean, obviously Slumdog Millionaire, but I really like this movie called Lion that he did a few years ago. Definitely a dramatic role. I've never really pictured him as an action actor. So it was interesting to see that like trailer and the fact that it was Dev Patel. I was like, oh, that could be pretty good. And that he directed it. This was his directorial debut. So first thing he ever directed. So I was interested to see it. I did not care about Jordan Peele being a producer. That to me, producers, I never get excited like, oh, this guy produced it. Like, whatever. Who cares? Going in, I thought the trailer was cool. Looked like an action movie in India. I said, okay, I'm with that. I will say the movie starts off, pros. I liked the first act of this movie, and I liked the third act of this movie. I thought they were very strong. They had a lot of energy. I thought the direction was actually good. Dev Patel seems like a talented guy behind the camera. I'd love to see him do more things. I'd also like to see him do different things. There's some really cool shots in the first act. There's one scene that's like during a fight scene and it almost switches to first person for a moment. And that was pretty cool. It's not like a long part. It's maybe like 6-7 seconds, but it was still neat. And there's a couple of other cool things he does with the camera. I was like, okay, I like it. There's a lot of energy in that first act. The movie moves, like the pacing is really quick. Really good music. I like the music a lot. It's a lot of hip hop, but there's like Indian hip hop and then like American hip hop. Like I heard Rick Ross for sure. And I was like, okay, I like the music. I like the style. It has a lot of style to it. And the action scenes early on were solid. I wouldn't say they were amazing. There was a lot of like shaky cam in a few of them where I'm like, this is not my favorite, but it was mostly solid. And then the third act, the action is great. In the third act, the action scenes are way better. It's a less shaky cam, more wider shots. And it's interesting because his character goes on a sort of a journey throughout the movie. And he is different in the third act than he was in the first act. So I kind of liked how the fight scenes played out differently later than they did early on. And they look different later. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, I think it has a strong beginning and end. Again, good music, good acting. I liked the cast was pretty good. And the storyline is solid. It's a revenge movie. I'm sick of everyone saying, like, I've seen a lot of people online like the Indian John Wick. There's nothing like John Wick. I don't understand why every action movie now is just the blank John Wick. It's not. First of all, just because it's a revenge movie doesn't make it like John Wick. And number two, John Wick is not the first revenge movie there ever was. That's a genre that's been around for so long. So it is nothing like John Wick. John Wick is an assassin and then he's getting revenge. And then it's a whole world of assassins. This is nothing like that. This is like a regular guy and it just happens to have action in it. It's nothing like John Wick. I don't want to hear the comparisons. So anyway, a revenge story, pretty basic premise. So yeah, it was fine. The story was fine. I was not blown away by it, but I thought it was serviceable. As far as the cons, I didn't like the second act of the movie. It slows down quite a bit. So you have this first act, a lot of energy, moving. And then you get to the middle part of the movie and it really slows down, goes into this forest and he's with these people and he's like kind of does some training and he's like, you get a little bit more of what happened. And this movie does this thing that I don't like where it's a lot of flashbacks, but all the flashbacks are in little spurts. So you'll see like 5 seconds of like some flashback and then 8 seconds of some flashback and it's just all crazy. But you can kind of piece together what happened. But then they still go and show you everything that happened. I kind of wish they just used that flashback where they show you everything from the jump. personally. Instead of having it all chopped up, it added some, like the movie's 2 hours. It's a little long. Honestly, hour 45 would have been much better for this. Could have trimmed some of that stuff out. That second act could have trimmed a little bit. Also, I did not quite understand there's like a political thing kind of going on in the background of the story of like there's different groups of people and this guy who's running for something. I don't know. It wasn't clear. I wish it was a little more clear as to who was running why and what and things like that. What are the opposition? What are the sides here? I was a little confused. So the third act kind of hurt it, but I mean, the second act, I should say, kind of hurt it for me. But overall, I ended up having a pretty decent time with this movie. Again, cool fight scenes, especially in the third act, and very violent. This movie is very R-rated. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a solid action revenge movie. Not like cream of the crop, but definitely decent. So 7 out of 10 for this one. I will be back with another Out of the Theater review this weekend for The First Omen. So until then, take it easy.